Hey guys, this is John of JamOnline.ph, and today we got here the latest notebook from Legion. It's the Legion Slim 7i. So yes, this comes with an Intel processor. It's an Intel Core i7-12700H processor. The variant that we got comes with 16 gigs of RAM with this 1TB SSD, and of course the RTX 3060 GPU. Those are just, the basic stuff about this notebook. So for the display, this one is also interesting. It's a 16-inch WQXGA display. That's 2560 by 1600. We got here 165 hertz na refresh rate. And as you can see, well, it's a slim notebook. Might be a gaming notebook. It's actually pretty slim. So this one is actually 16.9 millimeters thin. That is pretty thin for a gaming notebook. And this one is actually, just the right weight, which is 2.175 kilograms. That is not surprising considering that this one does have a slim na body. So a lot of notebooks these days are getting slimmer. So it's really nice to see na may ganito si Legion, and kaya talaga niya mag-compete when it comes to the design, the weight, and the portability of the notebook. So despite being a gaming notebook, this one is also portable. Ayan. So yeah, that is basically what we can expect from the Legion 7i. Now let's get into the notebook. Let's get in depth about the Legion Slim 7i. So first, as you can see in here, the notebook comes with an aluminum chassis. I actually like the feel of this one. Despite having an aluminum chassis, this one is 2.175 kilograms. As you can see in here, very minimalistic look. Legion logo over here, Lenovo logo over here. No nonsense design. We got here everything that we need dito sa aluminum chassis na ating notebook. It's tough and it doesn't have, the flex feel over here. So when you're typing, okay lang dito with the Legion Slim 7i. Now, let's talk about RGB. Of course, we got here the RGB. The lights is over here actually on the keyboard, and I like the minimalistic look of that. I mean, they don't have the fancy RGB lights all over the laptop. I actually prefer having this one. The more minimalistic gaming laptop, the better. As for me, of course, pero opinions may differ doon sa mga tao na, okay, I really want, a better or more RGBs on my laptop. So as you can see, this one has a pretty clean look aside from the stickers over here. This is actually the power button, and as you can see, it's actually white, the LED. But it does turn red if you're in performance mode. So, para mabigyan ka ng indicator na, yeah, we're getting into gaming on the notebook. As for the hinge, this one is actually a pretty good hinge. This can go up to 180 degrees as you can see right now. And yeah, it's nice na ganito siya kanipes. Look at that, how thin the notebook is. Alright, so let's mention the I/O on this one. So on the left, we got here, of course, the grill para mas maganda yung airflow natin dito. We got here Thunderbolt 4 and a USB-C na port. Here at the back, we got here 3 USB-A ports, a power port, and also the HDMI. And on the other side, we got here the SD card reader, the camera shutter button, and the headphone jack. I actually like that they've included the camera shutter na switch on this notebook. I mean, privacy really matters, and especially these days that a lot of us are working from home, a lot of us, are hybrid. So, better na meron tayong electronic shutter. But of course, for me, it's better to have a physical shutter, but electronic shutter will do just fine for me. And as for the ports, I believe that is more than enough for me. We got USB-C, we got USB-A for keyboard, mouse, or whatever accessory that you want. We got HDMI. And for content creators, they really need that SD card reader. And for me, okay sa akin na may SD card reader as I can edit my videos on DaVinci Resolve. On this one, saksak lang sa SD card, then go na. And speaking of content creators, I believe a lot of you are, expecting about the speaker quality. It was good, but definitely not the best. Actually, the audio of this one is audio by Harman over here. But it's definitely not the best one that we have seen or we have heard sa isang gaming notebook. But it will do just fine dito sa Legion Slim 7i. For the keyboard, we got here the chiclet style keyboard on the notebook. As expected, we got here yung design or yung shape ng mga Lenovo keys. This is present on almost all Lenovo keyboards. I haven't seen a Lenovo laptop before that doesn't have this shape. And it was actually pretty good pagdating sa kanyang keyboard. Of course, the RGB lights are nice. It's minimalistic yung kanyang design like what I've said earlier. And of course, the travel distance and also the actuation were actually pretty crispy. That's why I love typing on this one. I typed, some of my reviews on this one over Google Docs. And nagustuhan ko yung typing experience dito sa Lenovo Legion Slim 7i. As for the trackpad of this one, as you can see, it didn't maximize the whole space of the trackpad, but it was big enough for most people. As for me, sana minaximize sila. I said, I would love to have a notebook talaga na umabot dito yung kanyang trackpad and over here. Kasi malaki pa yung space. They could have maximized that one because not all the times that, we're working outside, we have our mouse. But with the Slim 7i, okay na naman to. But I wish that they could have a bigger touchpad on this one. But using it was precise. Actually, na-surprise ako na I can use, Excel on this one, sheets just fine with the touchpad of the notebook. As for the battery, this one comes with the 99.9 watt-hour battery. It's the largest that we can see on a laptop na pwede nyo dalhin anywhere. Again, this one is for portability. And yes, we were able to use this notebook for around 6 hours depending on your usage. But 6 hours, that's a working dito sa laptop na to. So if you're planning on using it outside, mga nasa around 5 to 6 hours na battery life here with the Legion Slim 7i. It's not that bad considering that this one has a powerful processor which is a 12700H and also a GPU of RTX 3060. Now, going back sa display ng notebook na to, we got here the 16-inch display WQXGA 2560 by 1600. By that numbers alone, you already know that the display is actually pretty sharp. It's not OLED, it's not AMOLED, it's not touchscreen, but this one comes with a 165 Hz refresh rate. So, playing games like Valorant on this one, playing games, whether that's Red Dead Redemption 2 or whatever games that you want, it's smoother, it's better, and that 165 Hz refresh rate is actually fine for me. It's not 240 Hz, but yeah, 165 with that kind of specification, okay na ako dito with the Slim 7i. The colors aren't perfect. This one would do just fine for normal users, for gamers. But if you're really into, color grading, sa mga video editors or content creators that are really into colors, you might want to use an external display for this one because this one isn't perfect pagdating sa kanyang colors. But again, this one is usable outside. This one can be used for editing outside. It's powerful enough, but the colors aren't just perfect dito sa notebook na to. Now, let's go do sa kanyang performance and thermals. So, just to give you a quick recap, it's a 12700H from Intel. It's an Intel Core i7 processor. We got here the RTX 3060 GPU. And of course, a 16 gigs of 4800 MHz na DDR5 RAM. And of course, it's not as good as the 13th generation of Intel processors, which is also a leap pagdating sa kanyang performance. But the 12700H does the job perfectly for me. H processor performs a lot better. We all know that. But we saw, playing games on this one was actually decent. So the combination of the Intel CPU and the RTX 3060 GPU was just fine. But since this one is a slim notebook, we've noticed that the notebook gets a little bit hotter, especially, when you're playing on your lap, playing like this on your lap. Sometimes if you're playing heavy games, that would be a problem. So yes, it needs more airflow despite having a lot of, airflow talaga na labasan, pasukan ng hangin dito sa Slim 7i. We've noticed that it gets a little bit hot and the performance is a little bit throttled, which is expected considering that this one is a slim notebook. You have to take note, it's a slim notebook. Nonetheless, it was still good. We were able to play games, Red Dead Redemption 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Cyberpunk 2077. So, with Cyberpunk 2077, I've seen, sa MSI Afterburner na umabot tayo na 81 degrees Celsius pagdating sa kanya or 87 degrees Celsius pagdating sa game, pag talagang heavy na scenes. But yeah, overall, when it comes to performance, it lags pagdating sa kanyang performance compared to, other notebooks with the same specifications, but the Legion Slim 7i is a balance of portability and also power. So you have to understand that na nandun siya sa gitna. It was placed dun sa gitna. And for me, despite, I already understand that these are the sacrifices that you need to have with a slim notebook. And for me, okay ako doon sa performance niya. Okay ako doon na naglag siya, yes. But the portability of this notebook is actually something that I appreciate dito, yung portability and also yung kanyang decent naman na power. So, actually, sinabi ko na yung parang verdict doon pagdating sa performance. Now, let's do a quick rundown, a quick verdict. We got your nice design. I mean, it's aluminum chassis overall. It's a slim notebook, something that you would really appreciate. It's a portable notebook. Despite having a 16-inch notebook, it feels like a 15-inch notebook because of those slim bezels, which is a thing now recently sa mga notebooks these days. The minimalistic look, the RGB keyboard, and of course, yung kanyang performance, like what I've said earlier, it's decent enough. 12700H, that's more than enough for your Excel or Office files. The 3060 GPU can run all of the games that you want. Probably, I do not know any games right now that wouldn't run on this notebook. I mean, it's a 3060 GPU, that's more than enough. Medium settings, even high settings, dito, ultra settings, walang problema. But of course, you have to set your expectations na it's a 3060, it's an Intel Core i7 12700H. Compared to other notebooks with a better airflow, this one would lag a little bit pagdating sa performance. Nonetheless, you can still play games on this one. The display is fine, especially for FPS games, 165 Hz. Of course, the colors are just the average, but don't expect, the heavy content creators, doon sa mga nagko-color grading dito na gamitin nila yung display nito. Overall, it was a fine gaming notebook. It was a good it's a good balance talaga ng portable and gaming notebook. Again, doesn't have the best performance and yet okay pa rin ako kasi nga nandito yung balance natin ng portability and also ng power. So I guess that's it for our video for today. So if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and be sure to click that subscribe button along with that bell button to get notified of our latest videos here in my YouTube channel. So once again, I am JumPhJumpOnline.ph. Thank you for watching and see you guys again in my next video.